Hello, welcome to Kelly's Century Ranch. I'm Amanda, and if you see my last video, welcome back to the greenhouse. Welcome back to a right side up greenhouse. Oh my gosh, so this week's garden tour is going to be a little disappointing because it was like one step forward and two steps backwards last week because like I said in my last video, we had an insane windstorm. I said it's super windy again today, but wind gusts that day were like 55 miles an hour wind, and it ended up picking up the greenhouse and turning it upside down. I'll insert a picture. Ironically, that was the first day that some of my plants I had actually brought out to the greenhouse for that day because they had germinated, and I thought they could use some sunshine out here, and you know, we still take them in at night, but I thought, oh, it'll be great. It's going to be like a 70. It's actually going to be 80 degrees that day. Be great in the greenhouse. Well, yeah. And so in hindsight, we should have anchored down the greenhouse better. The reason we didn't, and again, I explained this in my last video, is because we were not 100% sure where, sorry, I was looking to see what my kid is out there doing. We were not 100% sure where the greenhouse was going to live permanently. We've also have plans for potentially a high tunnel in the future and maybe eventually converting this to something else. So for all of those reasons, we just didn't bury the post like we should have. But lessons learned, it is now anchored and shouldn't be a problem again. But this week's garden tour means it's going to be a little bit more sad. We do have some things to show. We do have some things up, and we also have some damage. So let's get into it. Here are all of my seed starts that I have currently started. These, I actually just planted these today. They will go inside on a heat mat and a light, but it was again going to be super warm today. So I just let them sit out here. We had some other plans we had to do. It got super warm in the greenhouse, and so I just let them live out here today, and then I will go and put them on the heat mat and the grow lights tonight. These will also go in tonight. So these are the ones that they did not, these were planted in my last garden tour video, but they had thankfully not germinated, and you can see some of them are still not germinated, but some of them were big enough that I definitely wanted them out of the humidity domes. So they were not big enough to come out to the greenhouse on the day that the destruction happened, right? So for that reason, they were saved, and so they are looking good. It looks like most of our California Wonders have germinated. There's a few more. There's a few Ozark Giants that have a couple that are still. We have banana peppers. We have, let's see, Purple Beauty, Advarsky. So doing pretty good there. On the back row is, or on the back tray is all of our hot peppers. So you can see our cayennes and our jalapenos are doing fantastic. As well as we got almost all the habaneros up, poblanos. The ghost peppers are getting there, and the Carolina Reapers only have a couple up. Now, these plants were actually in the greenhouse when the greenhouse turned over, but they have some damage, but they have survived. This one I found actually first. It was in this, and I hadn't found this one yet, so I just stuck it in a little pot. But you know, we're getting there, right? I think that they'll be okay. I think that they'll be safe. It'll be fine. So also ironically, then the reason for the high winds is it was 80 degrees that day, and then it was 20 degrees that night, and because of that we actually had some loss on our radishes and our lettuce. Those were one things that if you watch last week's garden tour video and then this week, you're actually going to be like, oh, I think they looked better last week. So this is the lettuce. You can see that it has came up some. It was actually looking a lot better throughout the week until, you know, until the greenhouse blew away, and then it was out here in 20 degree weather. Now, you know, lettuce is pretty frost hardy, but it did kind of get it. This I think I showed last week too. This is our strawberries. There's some gravel in there that I gotta get out that was just from construction and moving everything when the greenhouse went over. It just got a few things dropped in there. Over here is one of the most damage that happened. The radishes did not fare real well with the cold temperatures. We have a few, but we had all kinds of sprouts, and then the greenhouse flipped over and the cold temps, and we just don't have very many. Thankfully, radishes are like from seed to harvest in like 45 days, so it'll be fine. We've got a few there. I'll plant some more. Everything will be just fine. Again, another strawberry bucket hasn't started really blooming yet. We do have some gravel again to take care of there. That is everything that is currently in the greenhouse. Like I said, the plant trays I am actually going to take inside overnight, and then if it's warm, then I will bring them out into the greenhouse during the day. That'll last for a few weeks until the nighttime temperatures are okay for them to stay in the greenhouse overnight. We had planned to get our garden all cleaned up and start mending the soil this week. That did not happen. You know, in my last week's garden video, I shared that I hope by this week it would be all cleaned up and put together, and we would be amending that soil. But again, things just happened. So here we are. Now I'm going to take you outside and show you the flower beds. That's the only thing we have right now outside. So again, these first few garden tours are going to be pretty short. But I'll show you what's coming up, what's not coming up, what I'm kind of surprised at. But it is, again, super windy, so I will probably I'll just probably do like music over it or something. Let's go outside. Before we go and look at the plants, let's grab the eggs. Oh, only 3 today. We have been getting anywhere from 3 to 5 eggs every day. So we'll grab those since we have time on this little garden video. Okay. Still nothing in this tire. And I planted the same amount of bulbs in this one as I did the other one. And look. Over here, we have all kinds of bulbs coming up. All of these bulbs I actually got on clearance last fall and planted them. That is everything for this week's garden tour. Again, super short these first few weeks, but I can't wait till the garden is just in full bloom and we can look back at where it all started and where it's at now. We'll see you next time.